Hello students, welcome in the second lecture of subject Public Health Engineering. In first lecture, we had discussed the point sources of water. There is a two sources of water, that is a surface sources and subsurface sources. Then we had discussed the intake structures. What is meant by intake structures? The intake structure are used for the collecting water from the surface sources, and this water is conveying further to the water treatment plants. There is a four type of intake structures. First is a river intake, then lake intake, then reservoir intake and canal intake. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss first factors governing the location of intake structure. The factors which affect the location of intake structure is as follows. First one, at site there is a no heavy current of water which might endanger the safety of intake works. That is, at the site of intake structure there is a no heavy current of water. What is meant by heavy current? Heavy current means when the water flow by the gravity, then the pressure of water is more that produce the current in water. When there is a heavy current in water, then it might the danger safety of intake works. It is a harmful for the safety of intake. Then second factor is site should be approachable. The site of intake structure is easily approachable. Then third factor is intake should draw sufficient quantity of water. That is, the location of intake structure is as it should be draw the sufficient quantity of water, and this water is provided to the water treatment plant. Then fourth factor is intake must be places near the treatment plant. That is, the distance between intake structure and treatment plant is less. Hope you all get the factors which are governing or affecting the location of intake structures. There are four factors which can be affect the location of intake structure. First one is at site there is a no heavy current of water. It might be harmful or dangerous to the safety of intake works. Then second is the site of intake structure is easily approachable. Then third is intake should draw sufficient quantity of water. The quantity of water at the site of intake structure is sufficient. Then intake must be placed near the treatment plant. That is, the distance between the intake structure and water treatment plant is should be less. Now second point of first chapter is quantity of water. The quantity of water means the water which can be used for daily purpose. Now see the first point of quantity of water. Need to protect water supply. Water supply means the water which can be supplied to any city or any town. This water supply has need to protect. Now we can see why the need to protect the water supply. The first need of protect water supply is water supply to the community should be useful for the drinking purpose. The water which can be supplied to the community, this water is should be used for drinking purpose. Then second is the water in the river is obtained polluted by people. The water which is in a river, it may be polluted by the people. Then this water carries bacteria, some of pathogenic, and cause waterborne diseases such as the typhoid. The water which can be supplied to the community, it might be carries the bacteria or the pathogenic bacteria such as the typhoid, or it can be cause the waterborne diseases such as the typhoid. Then next point is, if such water is consumed by human beings, then it harmful for human beings. Hence, water supplies need to be protected. It is a answer of why water supply need to be protected. The water which can be contain bacteria, it when supplied to the human, then it is a harmful to human beings. Hence, this water is need to be protect. Then wastage from some industrial is related to river or is led into the river. It dangerous for human consumption. The wastage or wastewater from industries is directly led into the river, and it can be contaminate the water of river, and it is a dangerous to human consumption. Surface runoff due to rainfall percolates into ground, resolving salt and minerals present in the soil. Due to this resolving salt, surface water may be polluted and cause disease. The water which can be filtered into the ground, this resolve the salts into the ground, or the minerals which are present into the soil is resolved in this water, and this water may be get polluted and causes the diseases. Hope you get this point. Need to protect water supply. Now see why water supply have need to protect. The answer is here. First, water supply to the community should be used for the drinking. Then this water is may be polluted by people. That is, this water from river is may be polluted by people, and this water may be contain some bacteria or pathogenic bacteria which can be causes the waterborne diseases like typhoid. Then, when such water is consumed by the human beings, then it is a harmful for the human beings. Hence, there is a need to protect the water supply. Then another need to protect water supply is when waste from the industries are direct laid into the river, it can be contaminate the water of river, and it is dangerous for human consumption. Then another need of water protect supply protection is surface runoff due to rainfall relocates into the ground. That is, the water is infiltrate into the ground, and this water is resolving salts and minerals present in soil in it, and due to this resolution of salts and minerals, water may be polluted and cause the disease. Hope you all get this point, that is a need to protect water supply. Now the next point is flow diagram of water supply scheme. The second point of point number 2, that is sub point in point number 2, flow diagram of water supply scheme. Now see the flow diagram of water supply scheme. This flow diagram shows how water can be supplied from source to the any city or any town. Now see, first water supply scheme, first part of water supply scheme is source of water. From the source, water can be supplied to the treatment works, and from treatment work, water can be distributed to the consumer. Now we can see one by one all parts of water supply scheme. First point of water supply scheme is source of water. We discussed in first lecture what is the source of water. There is a main two sources of water, that is surface sources and subsurface sources. Then which is the surface sources? Ponds, lakes, rivers and streams. In ponding reservoirs, that is the Water occurs on the ground is surface sources. Then subsurface sources is springs or wells or infiltration galleries or infiltration wells. Then there is a types of wells, that is the artesian wells, dug wells, driven wells, tube wells. Then there is a types of tube wells, shallow tube wells and deep tube wells. These are the sources of water. From these all sources of water, water is comes into the intake works or intake structures. There is a four intake structure. First is canal intake, then reservoir intake, lake intake and river intake. From the sources of water, water goes to the intake structures or intake works. From intake works, water is supplied to the water treatment plants. Now, in water treatment plants, there is a some procedures which can be treat the water or purifies the water. Now, we can see one by one all steps of the water treatment work. When water goes to water treatment plant, then first step in water treatment plant is aeration. Now see what is the aeration? Aeration means the water is treated by exposing into the atmospheric air and eliminate gases such as the carbon dioxide, oxygen, sulfate and minerals such as the ions. When water comes to the water treatment plant, water is first to go to the aeration treatment. Aeration means the water is comes into the oxygen or water is come in contact with the oxygen, and in this aeration process the gases like carbon dioxide or oxygen or sulfate or minerals such as ions are removed from the water. Then second step is sedimentation. It is also called as a plain sedimentation. In sedimentation, impurities such as a silt, clay, sand are removed by the process of sedimentation. The impurities like clay or sand is removed in the sedimentation. Now see what is the sedimentation. The sedimentation process is works like a mixer. When water comes into the sedimentation tank, it will be mixed. Then after mixing, the water is stopped. Then the fine particles or the sand particles is settled at the bottom of sedimentation tank, and what clear water is over these particles. Now next process is filtration. In filtration, the water is goes under the filters and remove the microorganisms or colloidal impurities. Then next is disinfection. In disinfection process, the bacteria that still remaining into the water is removed by the disinfection. After the filtration, water comes into the disinfection process. Then the bacteria or the microorganisms which are removed is not removed by the filtration is removed by the disinfection. For disinfection, there is a some process used like the chlorination, then miscellaneous treatments. After disinfection, the water get purified, but in some cases there is a some microorganisms or bacteria are remaining in water. Then the miscellaneous treatments are due to the water, like the softening of water or filtration through the sand or removal of iron and magnesium in the water, that are the miscellaneous water treatments. Now when all water treatments are due to the water, water get purified. Then after these treatments, water is goes to the distribution system. Then by the distribution systems, water is supplied to the consumer. The distribution systems for various towns has various distribution systems. Then from the distribution systems, water is supplied to the consumers. Hope you all get the water supply scheme. Now we just revise this water supply scheme. First part of water supply scheme is sources of water. There is a various sources of water: surface sources, subsurface sources. Then from sources of water, water is goes to the intake structures. Intake structure is works. What is the intake structure? Intake structure stores the water and then it conveys water to the water treatment plants. Then in water treatment plants there is some processes which can be purifies the water. In that, first is the aeration. Aeration means the water is comes contact in oxygen and removes the gases which is in water. Then next process is sedimentation. In sedimentation process, the fine particles or sand or sludge is removed from the water. Then next is filtration. In filtration, the microorganisms or bacteria are removed from the water. Then after filtration, water is come to the disinfection. The treatment like chlorination are used in disinfection, which can be remove the remaining bacteria or microorganisms from the water. Then when in some cases there also some microorganisms are present in the water after disinfection, then this water is goes under the miscellaneous water treatments. Then after water treatment, the water is comes to the water distribution system, and from water distribution system water is goes to the supply to the consumer. This is a water supply scheme or flow diagram of water supply scheme. It is a very important from the exam point of view. Now next point is demand of water. After the quantity of water, the third point in this point number 2 or the third sub point of point number 2 is demand of water. What is the demand of water? The water required for the various purpose or day to day use is demand of water. Now we see what is the demand of water. Water is the principal raw material for food production or many other uses. It is a principal raw material which is required for any work or any use or in food production also. The consumption of water for various needs which affect our daily life. Water is required for various needs in daily life. There is when water is not available, then it is very difficult to the living organisms. Then the use of water by plant animals is universal. Then water plays the important role in the manufacture of various essentials and generation of electric power, transportation and industrial activity. For all activities, water is important. That is for electric power generation, for transportation, for industrial activities, the water is must important or water is must required. It is a demand of water. Now we can see the various types of water demand. Now see various types of water demand. The water is required for following demand. First is domestic demand. Domestic demand means the water which can be used for domestic works. According to the IS 1172 and 1983, the minimum requirement of water for domestic consumption is 135 liters. We all know the IS codes. There is a one IS code which is used for water or for use of water is IS 1172 and 1983. According to this IS code, the minimum requirement of water for domestic consumption is 135 liters. These include the water required for domestic purpose such as the drinking, bathing, lawn sprinkling, sanitary purpose and air conditioning. That is the water which can be used in daily life or in domestic purpose. This water is included in domestic demand. The water which can be required for drinking or water which can be required for bathing or for lawn sprinkling or for sanitary purpose or for air conditioning is 135 liters. The total domestic demand amount approximately 50% of the total water demand. The total domestic demand of water is 50% of total water demand. That is the water is used for all works is 50% or water is used for domestic demand is 50%. The separation of 135 liters capita per day may approximately be taken as follows. That is the water which can be used for domestic demand is 135 liter. Now we can see what is the separation of this 135 liter water. That is how many water is used for bathing, how many water is used for lawn sprinkling, how many water is used for sanitary purpose. Now see, use and consumption per capita per day. Capita means the water which can be used for one person for one day. Now see, the water which can be used for bathing is 55 liters capita per day. For one person there is a 55 liters water required for bath. Now next is flushing of latrines. The water is used for flushing of latrines is 30 liters per capita per day. For one person 30 liters water is required for per day. Now for washing of clothes, 20 liters water required per person per day, that is per capita per day. Now next is washing of utensils. For washing the utensils 10 liter water required per day to per person. Now washing and cleaning of house. For washing and cleaning of house 10 liter water required per head. For cooking 5 liter water required per capita per day. And for drinking 5 liter water required per capita per day. This amount of water is given in the IS code. It may be vary person to person. There is a total 135 liter water required for one person daily in domestic use. Hope you all get the domestic water demand. There is a total 135 liter water used for one person for one day. It might be changed person to person. Now hope you get the demand of water for domestic purpose. Now the next demand of water is public and industrial need or public or industrial demand of water. This can be we see in the next lecture. Now first we revise these points again for better understanding. Now see, we can revise again these points. First point, we had seen that factor governing the location of intake structure or the factor which can be affects the location of intake structure. The first factor is at the site of intake structure there is no heavy current of water. This can be harmful or danger to the safety of intake works. Then second is site should be approachable or site should be easily approachable. Then third factor is intake should draw sufficient quantity of water. The intake or intake structure should be draw the sufficient quantity of water and this water is provided to the water treatment plant. Then fourth is intake must be placed near the treatment plant. The distance between the intake structure and water treatment plant is very less. Now the next point of unit number 1 is quantity of water. It is the second point of unit number 1. First point is sources of water and intake structures. Then second is quantity of water. Now in quantity of water, first subpoint is need to protect water supply, or the why water supply has need to protect. Now see why water supply has need to protect. The water supply to the community is used for drinking purpose. Then the water in river, it might be get polluted by the peoples. Hence the water supply is need to be protect. Then this water may be carry bacteria or pathogenic bacteria which can be cause the waterborne diseases like the typhoid. Then next point is if water or if such water is consumed by the human beings, then it is a harmful for the human beings. Hence water supplies need to be the protected. Then wastage from industries are directly laid into the river. It can be contaminate the water into the river and it is a dangerous for human consumption. Then when rainfall, then water is prolongates or infiltrate into the ground, and this water is resolving the salts and minerals which is present in the soil, and this water get polluted and causes the diseases. Now the second sub point of quantity of water is flow diagram of water supply scheme. Now we can see the flow diagram of water supply scheme. Hope you all get this flow diagram. This is a very important for the exam. Now see flow diagram again. First step of flow diagram is sources of water. There is a many sources of water. Hope you all get these all sources of water. Then from sources of water, water is goes to the intake works or intake structures. Now in intake structure, water get stored in the intake structure, and then this water is conveyed to the water treatment plant. Then in treatment plant or treatment work, the water gets purified by the following processes. First is aeration. Aeration means water is get in contact of oxygen or in contact of atmospheric oxygen, and the gases which is present in water is removed by this process. Then sedimentation. Sedimentation means in the sedimentation process, the what fine particles or sand which can be present in water is get removed. Then next is filtration. Filtration means the water get filtered in this filtration, and the microorganisms or bacteria which can be present in water is get removed. After filtration, water is goes under the disinfection. In disinfection, the water get fully purified. The process like chlorination is used in disinfection. But in some cases after disinfection, there is a any microorganism or bacteria are still present into the water, then this water is comes into the miscellaneous treatment. The miscellaneous treatment likes the softening of water or the removing the ions of water. Now after the water treatment, water get fully purified, then this water is goes to the distribution system, and from distribution system this water is supplied to the consumer. That is, this water is supplied to the towns or houses of the towns. Now next point is demand of water. There is a various demands of water. Water is a principal raw material. Then for daily consumption, water is need. Now, the use of water by plants and animals is also universal. And for electric power generation, transportation, industrial activity, water also the required. Now, the first demand of water is domestic demand. According to IS 1172 and 1983, the minimum requirement of water for domestic consumption is 135 liters. Hope you remember this point, that is domestic demand of water is 135 liters. These demands include the drinking water, then bathing, law sprinkling, and sanitary purpose and air conditioning. Now, see the separation of this water demand. For bathing, there is a 55-liter water is used. For flushing of latrines, 30-liter water is used capita per day, means per head or for per person. For washing of clothes, 20-liter water is used. For washing of utensils, 10-liter water is used. For washing and cleaning of house, 10-liter water is used. For cooking, 5-liter water is used, and for drinking, 5-liter water is used. There is a total 135-liter water per capita per day, means for one person daily 135-liter water is used. Hope you all get this domestic demand of water. Now see one point, that is I revise all points for two or three times because to get clear your all concepts. Hope you all understand the content of lectures. Now we can see next demand of water into the next lecture. Thank you.